Hello everyone, my name is Novia Saranda Subhan, and I'm excited to present on various learning theories and approaches that are essential in the field of education. And today we will explore about implicit learning, contextual learning, learner-centered approach, and meaningful learning. Okay, let's get started. Okay, for the first, there is implicit learning. Implicit learning is the process of acquiring knowledge unconsciously without the learner being aware of what has been learned, and this type of learning often occurs naturally and effortlessly. And the activity that students participate in a natural walk, observing and discussing, for example, different plants and animals, they learn about ecosystem through immersion and observation. And for example, when the children learn that their first language, they pick up grammar rules and vocabulary without explicit instruction. Okay, let's move about contextual learning. Contextual learning is a student-centered teaching uh, the connects curriculum content to the real world situation, making learning more relevant and meaningful for the students. And for example, teaching math through the real world problems such as budgeting for a school event or measuring ingredients for a recipe and help students see the practical application of mathematical concepts. Okay, let's discuss about a learner-centered approach. This approach prioritizes that the needs, interests, and learning style of students, making them active participants in their own learning. And the first of activity, students choose a specific aspect of the environment they are passionate about, such as cycling or water conservation, and create presentation or campaign to raise awareness. And finally, let's talk about meaningful learning. Occurs when new information is connected to prior knowledge, making it easier to understand and remember. And for example, activities students create a concept map linking and new knowledge about ecosystem to what they already know about, for example, food chains and habits. And the for the helps them see the connection and understand the bigger picture. Okay, now let's talk about this slide. Okay, for the first, there is receptive skills, including listening and reading. And listening, example, a storytelling session are an excellent way to improve listening skills. For instance, and reading a story aloud helps students practice listening and understanding. Okay, for the activity that play a short video clip or audio clip and ask students to identify the key details or answer question about it. And reading. For example, pictures picture books are a great for young learners. They provide a visual context and they help with comprehension. And the activity, for example, helps students read a short passage and then discuss the main ideas or answer comprehension the questions. Okay, now productive skills, including the speaking and writing. Speaking, example, role-playing activities can enhance speaking skills. For instance, having students act out a scene from a story can help the practice speaking in a fun and engaging way. And the activity that organize a show and tell a session where the students bring an item from home and talk about it. And writing. For example, guide writing exercise can help students develop their writing skills. And for instance, you can start with a sentence, a completion exercise, and gradually move to what paragraph writing. And the activity provide a picture and ask students to write a story about the picture about it. Okay, now let's break down the steps in teaching productive skills. These steps help ensure that students gradually build their confidence and abilities. For the first step is provide a model. Uh, Start by providing a clear example of what you want to the students to produce. And for example, if you are teaching how to write a short story, read a simple story to the class first. And the second step is guide practice and guide the students through the process with structures structure activities. For example, have students repeat sentence after you or fill in the blank in story templates. And the third is independent practice. Allow students to practice on their own and applying what they have learned. And for example, ask students to write their own short story or create dialogues on a given scenario. And for the fourth is feedback and revision. Provide constructive feedback and allow students to revise what they have worked. And for example, review the students' stories and give feedback on areas for improvement and ask them to make a revision. And now steps in teaching receptive skills. And these steps help students engage with the material and improve their comprehension. Uh, for the first, pre-listening or reading activities. Okay, prepare students for the listening or reading by discussing the topic and key vocabulary. For example, before students reading a story, talk about the main characters and a setting, introduce the new vocabulary that will appear in the story, and the second is while listening or reading activities. Okay, engage students during the listening or reading tasks with activity that focus on comprehension. And for example, while reading a story, ask students to answer questions about the text or identify the key details. And the third is pause listening or reading. And the activities reinforce understanding and encourage deeper engagement with the material. For example, after listening to a story, have students summarize it in their own words or discuss the main ideas. And you can also ask them to draw a picture, relate the story, or act out a scene. And for the fourth, follow-up activities. Extend learning with activities that build on listening or reading tasks. For example, create relate craft project, write a continuations on a story, or have a group discussion about the themes of the text. Okay, next slide. This method help make learning more effective and engaging for young learners. For the first one, there is a CLT or communicative language teaching, focus on interaction and communication activities that are designed to get students using the language in meaningful ways. For example, group discussion, role plays, and interactive games are common in CLT. So there is a GPR involves students responding to comments with the cycle action. This method is especially effective for young learners who are kinesthetic learners. For example, acting out verbs like jump or run or swim helps students understand the meaning of the words and keeps them cycle active. Uh, and then TBL, task-based learning, and involves completing a project or task in English, which helps students use the language in a meaningful context. For example, completing a project like creating a poster about their favorite example animal or planning a class party. By using this approach and technique, we can create a dynamic and effective learning environment. And now move to how to teach young learner by using song and story. Using song in TYL that song are fantastic tool for teaching English to young learners. Uh, and the benefits of using songs that enhance memory and retention for students, and the repetitive nature of songs that help students remember vocabulary and language structures, and also songs that make learning fun. Songs create a positive and enjoyable learning environment. And song also can improve pronunciation by singing help students practice the sounds and rhythm in English. And now using stories in TYL. Stories are powerful tools for developing listening and comprehension skills. They stimulate imagination and provide context for language use that the benefits of using stories that develop listening and comprehension skills and can help students practice listening and understanding. Uh, so stimulates imagination. Stories engage students' creativity and imagination, and also provides context for language use. Stories provide a natural context for vocabulary and grammar. For example, after reading, ask students to the to point of the different colors maybe for example mentioned in the story and discuss uh, with them. And remember, TYL is making learning interactive, engaging, and fun for young learners. And that's all from me.